8 words. That is all it took. 8 simple words to deliver a political takedown so brutal, so utterly devastating that it has left the mayor of London reeling and his authority in tatters. While Sadiq Khan spoke of unity, a political firestorm was ignited by a message that has now gone viral, exposing a truth Westminster tries desperately to hide. What were those 8 words, and why are they sending shockwaves through the entire British political establishment? The facts are stark. Following the massive Unite the Kingdom rally in London, where up to 150,000 protesters flooded the capital, chaos erupted. The day ended with 26 police officers injured, 4 of them seriously, and 24 people arrested. In the aftermath, London Mayor Sadiq Khan issued a prepared statement calling for unity against those who seek to divide us. But Reform UK Member of Parliament Lee Anderson saw it differently. He went online and responded directly to the mayor with a devastating counterattack that has now been seen by millions. Anderson wrote, "Brits should unite against you. Your appalling track record in London is shameful. Just go away." The political battle lines have been drawn, not in Parliament, but in the court of public opinion. To unpack this political explosion and what it truly means for Britain, we are joined now by our senior analysts, John and Jane.
Jane, let us begin with the sheer force of that response. 8 words. In an age of political spin and carefully crafted statements, that is an astonishingly direct and brutal attack. It feels less like a political debate and more like a public condemnation.
It is, John, and its power lies in its simplicity and timing. But before we get to Anderson's words, we must look at what triggered them. Sadiq Khan's statement was vintage political rhetoric. He even compared the current situation to his experiences growing up in the 1970s and 80s. In his mind, he was adding personal gravitas, but what he actually did was subconsciously admit his own failure. He was effectively saying that after all these decades, and after years of him being in power, the same problems are still plaguing his city. It is like a fire chief standing in front of a burning building and saying, "This reminds me of all the fires we had when I was a boy." It is an admission of complete stagnation.
An incredible point. He handed Anderson the ammunition. Which brings us back to that phrase, appalling track record. It is doing some serious heavy lifting because it forces everyone reading it to mentally catalog Khan's failures. And we're not just talking about abstract statistics here, Jane. We're talking about the elderly woman who's now too afraid to walk to the post office after dark. The small business owner who has had his windows smashed for the 3rd time this year with no police response. The daily commuter who loses hours with their family every week because the transport system is fundamentally broken. That is the appalling track record Anderson is referring to.
And let's not overlook Anderson's choice of the word shameful. He did not say the record was ineffective or disappointing. He said it was shameful. That is a deliberately moral judgment. It goes beyond mere incompetence and into the realm of a betrayal of public trust. The implication is that Sadiq Khan should personally feel shame for what has happened to London on his watch. It questions not just his policies, but his fitness for office on a moral level.
That moral dimension is what makes the final phrase, "just go away," so powerful. That is not a political argument. It is a complete and utter dismissal. It is the kind of raw frustration you hear in the pub or at the dinner table, now being voiced loud and clear by a member of parliament. It tells the mayor he is no longer part of the conversation on how to fix the problem. He is the problem.
And it exposes the fundamental disconnect between the mayor's rhetoric and London's reality. While 26 police officers, public servants, are being treated for their injuries, the mayor is issuing generic, pre-written statements about unity. Anderson's response, as blunt as it is, feels far more connected to the reality of the chaos London just witnessed. It powerfully questions the mayor's moral authority to lecture anyone about anything, especially public order.
And this is not just a problem for Sadiq Khan. It becomes a major headache for Keir Starmer in the National Labour Party. When one of your most prominent figures is so effectively branded a failure on the most basic duties of government, public safety and order, it creates a toxic narrative. It allows opponents to argue that the entire Labour Party is out of touch, incompetent, and soft on crime. Anderson's attack on Khan is, by clever extension, a damaging attack on the entire Labour establishment.
It is also a perfect example of the Reform UK strategy. They intentionally bypass the traditional media filters and the polite, archaic norms of Westminster. They communicate in a way that is specifically designed to be clipped, shared, and go viral. They are deliberately confrontational because they know it cuts through the noise in a way that a 20-minute speech in a half-empty House of Commons simply does not anymore. This is the new political battleground.
And let's not forget the almost surreal context here. You have Elon Musk, one of the world's most powerful and controversial figures, beaming into this London rally like some sort of billionaire political hologram. The situation is already volatile and requires strong, decisive leadership. And the mayor's response is a bland post on social media, which Anderson then demolishes in 8 words. It makes Sadiq Khan look utterly powerless, like a bystander to the events unfolding in his own city.
It truly is a perfect storm. You have a capital city in turmoil, a mayor who is widely perceived as out of touch and ineffective, and a political opponent who understands precisely how to deliver a knockout punch with a handful of simple, powerful words. This is more than just a social media spat, John. This exchange has exposed the deep, undeniable chasm between the Westminster establishment and the lived daily reality of ordinary British people. The old way of doing politics is crumbling, and this is what is rising up to replace it.
This brings us to the most difficult question of all. In a nation grappling with immense challenges, we must decide what we expect from our leaders. So we ask you, was Lee Anderson's brutal 8-word takedown a necessary dose of truth for a failing mayor? Or was it an unacceptable political attack that dangerously lowers the tone of public debate? Let us know your honest thoughts in the comments section below. We read every single one. And for more hard-hitting news that the establishment doesn't want you to hear, make sure you subscribe to Alert View and activate that notification bell. The truth matters more than ever. Thank you for watching.